Morning everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's well. Out on the usual walk with the dog in the morning. I'm going to try and do a video every day. None of them are scripted, just things that I'm thinking about, thoughts, putting them on camera. If you watch it, great. If you don't, you don't. Kind of good for my benefit as well, just to have a record, and also get used to chatting on camera, which is not always the easiest thing to do. So it gets a bit easier, I think, every day. A few things I'll probably go over that'll cover today. One of the sometimes there's people come behind us. One of the things that I was talking about, I think yesterday, was business. In this coming world recession that has been declared, and we knew about a while ago, a few weeks ago, if you were on the inside. If you're on the outside, then it's just the media is just starting to talk about it the past few weeks. I noticed that, I think it was Independent or something, had something about 35% cut in growth, and recession's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Yeah, we knew that, like, at the start of this. This was going to happen. It's pretty predictable. They tried to use the computer model to predict the spread of the beer bug, but they didn't decide to, let's have a computer model of the prediction on the how it's going to affect the economy. Didn't really need a prediction how it's going to affect the economy. The computer model for the beer bug is only based on the data that they put in, that what would happen. So right or wrong, and at the moment it's proving to be on the pessimistic side and probably too extreme. But we knew it. We didn't need the economy. We knew this would happen. If you shut something down for weeks on end, put people at home not working, then and the whole world does it. Of course this is going to happen. It can't recover quickly. I mean, it's not going to be bang, one day we're all back at work and that's it. There'll be a lot of people that won't go back to work, a lot of businesses that won't reopen, and I don't think they thought about that. And it's extremely difficult to get. Still not received. Go back to the help that's supposedly there. Still not received the grant, £10,000 grant for either of the businesses, for the rates, small business rates relief scheme. No, this has been weeks. Haven't had that. We're still paying our bills. We've still got employees. We've still got costs going out the door. We're not getting paid for money that's owed to us. We're in one of them's in the construction sector, so they don't exactly pay on the dot. Some of them are 30, some of them are 60, some of them drift to 90. We might never see some of this money. We've got 100,000 outstanding, and will we see all of it? Well, in our figures, to keep the business going, we need to see the 100,000 in the door. If that's what your projections are based on, you'll maybe have a little bit of bad debt, which we've got in our accounts. We've got a provision for bad debt, which most companies do. So you'll never get everything back. The usual log I've got to go under. It might be 5,000-10,000 a year in bad debt. We're really lucky. We only have a few thousand. But anyway, if we're hit with 5 or 10, that's in there. But we need to have the rest of the money coming in. And we don't know. This is the problem. We don't know whether it's coming in. One of our suppliers, who usually pays on a set date every month, it's not one of our suppliers, one of the people we do work for, he usually pays a set day every month. This time round, he's 14 days late, right? And he's usually he pays, as a good customer as well, got a big account. He always pays a set date every month, guaranteed, no messing about, proper company. And this time it's 2 weeks late. So the companies that don't run their financial affairs quite as well, and are maybe flying a bit more with the seat of their pants, as they do in our industry, are they going to pay 2 weeks late or 2 months late? Because they're having no income coming in. This is extremely serious for any business, and we can't plan a cash flow because we don't know what money's coming in. Obviously, we're going down the route of we're going to have to borrow money from this government scheme they've completely messed up. The banks aren't getting it out. Initially, you had 80% got backed by the government, then another 20% of which they wanted guarantees for. So they wanted to put your house up basically, or some collateral of some sort, some asset. Now they've changed that to no guarantees, but only, I think out of all the applicants that they've had so far, there's like a 1% success rate. They've only granted 1,000 or 1,500 loans, and it's taken far too long to come out. They need to be guaranteeing this 100%. 100% government backed, essentially give you the money. If we don't pay it back, fine. That's what they need to be doing. They're doing it to big businesses. This whole, we'll pay 80% of the salary. That's, what if you don't have the money to pay the salary in the first place? Because we have got to, the scheme's not even open to claim it. And it was around from the 1st of March, and we've had people, some of our workers off since the 1st of March. We've had to pay everybody in full in March, and we're going to have to pay 80%, and this includes employers' national insurance and the pension contributions, which is quite substantial, all the PAYE stuff. We're going to have to do again 80% in April, and we pay in a few days. Yet it's not open to claim. I think it opens supposedly, is it the 20th or is it the end of this month? And then how long is it to get the money? So is it going to be another month or two? So we're going to have to pay our employees again next month, and then we might see the money coming back in. Which small business can have that amount kicking about and keep the doors open? It's a complete shambles, and it questions the fact whether you want to stay in business or not. When you shut up shop and 20 people are unemployed like that, will they find a job? No. Very unlikely, because there's going to be massive unemployment. They'll all be on the dole. They'll all be claiming a benefit off the government, and putting a burden on what's already not there. I mean, maybe that's what the government wants. Maybe once they're going to give this universal credit, everybody's guaranteed a basic. In America, they're doing that. They're going for this. They want universal basic income, don't they? They want to give everybody $1,200 a month or whatever. What they're doing now, and have them in their pocket. The system's highly rigged, and a lot more complicated than most people think. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with this economic system that, if you start digging deeper down the rabbit hole, you start to find things that are pretty eye-opening. That's for another video. So we don't know when we're going to see this money in. If we go for the loan, when will we be able to access the loan? How long will that take? We still have to do a business plan, figures, cash flow. I mean, you can't do a cash flow, it's ridiculous. We have heard that it's the 7th of May they'll start relaxing regulations, but that doesn't mean everything's going back to normal. People will still be wearing masks, social distancing. There will only be certain restrictions that are taken down. So, when we open up, when it finally opens up, relaxes all the restrictions, who's going to still be around in our sector and many sectors, retail as well? People won't open the doors. If they're looking at 30% unemployment or 20%, then that means 20 or 30% of the businesses are going to close. So, I don't know. What you're supposed to do. We have a new product that we're developing, a new service that we're developing, and hopefully will bring in substantial business, but that might only be enough to replace the turnover we've lost. We've lost all the portable toilet hire and event business, welfare services, and we do a lot of events, so there's £100,000 worth of events gone. We're not a big company, so £100,000 is a substantial amount of money to lose, and that's your meat on the bone, that's your profit, because there's no money in the construction side. All the rates are so cutthroat, you don't make anything really, or maybe a little bit, but not enough to justify keeping a a business open. We don't drive new cars, we don't have fancy houses. In fact, all cars we've got are all second hand. They're all a bit older, they're all bought and paid for. None of them's worth probably more than about 10 grand, maybe 15 at the outset. So if you look at that, we're not driving about in a brand new car. We're not, we're not living in £500,000 houses because we've got a business. And people think that you've got a business, so you've got loads of money. Yeah, you can make a decent living in certain sectors, and our sector, unfortunately, which is not great for profit margins. The margins aren't brilliant in it. That's why I'm working to move on to online. That sector's profit margins are much, much better. So my focus is moving slowly towards that. But I've still got an existing business there that you have to keep running, not just for yourself, but for everybody else that works for you, that relies on it. And people sometimes forget how hard it is to be in a small business. You're not 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. You are 24/7. So I'll be working at the weekends. I'll be working at night time. I'll be working early morning. My brain's always switched on to the business. I don't switch off because I've clocked off at 5 o'clock when you're an employee. So yeah, I talked yesterday about don't be an employee, but there are benefits depending on the type of person you are. I've been an employee, so it depends how your mindset is. Personally, I don't. My mind likes to keep alert, and I'm always generating ideas and looking at angles and looking at various ways of maximising income. So I'm pretty good at that. Not that I don't think anybody would employ me anyway to do anything else. I don't really have any formal qualifications that people like, so I don't care about that. I'm not going to go and get a job. But this is the thing. So we go back to the new product. We develop a new product. We put a lot of time, effort into it, and we have to put money into it, which we don't have. We'll have to borrow to try and get this income back up that we know we'll lose. So you get back up to break even, you get back up to where you were before the crisis. But before the crisis, you weren't making enough money to justify what you're doing. Well, you're making enough, yeah, let's go back. Making enough to go around, but you weren't making enough. We weren't making enough to then cover extra borrowings. So if we went and borrowed the money, we'll have an extra few £1,000s a month in payments to pay it back. But that's not in the budget for the original cash flow that was done for this year. We weren't going to make enough to do an extra 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 in payments per month. Even if the government give us interest free, which they're doing for 12 months, that's only a small portion of the rest of the loan. The capital side of it is the big one. So what are you supposed to do then? That puts you over the edge. You can't then trade, you're trading insolvently. So then what you're doing, you're factoring invoices, which I don't know if people know, but you can sell your debtors list. So we've got outstanding invoices, we can sell it to a factor who will give us 80% of what they're worth, and they'll take the 20% off the top as their margin for a little bit, people that don't pay, but that's their profit. I don't know what the current, if we tried to do that now, because with this current situation, we might only get 50%, but we need the 90. So you can see how the whole thing will snowball. And quickly you have your cash positive. We do have financial reserves, but it doesn't take long for your financial reserves to go to zero. And then what do? Then you're in an overdraft situation. Now the bank will only lend up to 25,000 unsecured overdraft without personal guarantees, right? Signing your house away, basically, or assets that are there. We have got £15,000 overdraft, but because we've got a £5,000 credit card, they take that as an overdraft and they double the exposure to 10. So they take the £5,000 limit on the credit card, like £10,000, and only give you 15. Yeah, this is how the bank, they screw you. This wouldn't happen if you were a multi-million-dollar PLC traded company, big business. You wouldn't get that. You would get probably there'd be no guarantees involved in it, and the borrowings would be unlimited, but they would be easy. It'd be easy to finance, it'd be easy to get the money, easy to get the debt. Whereas at the moment, they make it very hard to get debt. And debt can be good. The whole system's based on debt anyway. But you can use debt to go and, like taking out a loan to go and progress a business venture, which in normal climates is a good idea. But this climate, taking out a loan, maybe not. Well, not maybe not. It's not going to be a good idea. So I don't know what the government's going to do about it, because I don't know. They don't seem to have a clue. Seem to have went into this situation and only thought of this computer model that's going to say that everybody's going to die, and they're not, clearly. And there's no, we'll just forget about the rest of it. Maybe it was a plan. Maybe they planned this all along. Well, worldwide there's something going on, because why would this situation come up and everybody worldwide follows the same guidelines? There's something going on. And I hear Donald Trump is refusing to pay the World Health Organization because the advice he was given he classes as being incorrect, and so do I. The World Health Organization is a puppet. It's a bought and paid for organisation by the Rothschilds and these big families that are really, really old and control most of the world. And also Bill Gates, he's involved with ID20, to go off on a tangent again, ID 2020, let's vaccinate the world and let's make sure everybody knows who's vaccinated and who's not, so we can restrict movement if necessary. And he's in with the WHO. So there's lots going on that have influenced this current crisis, but at the front lines, what the stuff we can do about it, difficult. If you're an employee, simply you're an employee and you're going to possibly lose your job, then get financial independence, start your own business online. Plenty of ways to find out how to do it, courses to do, something you're interested in. Take this time to do that. If you're a business owner, decision as well. Do you keep your business open? Is it worthwhile? Is the juice worth the squeeze, for instance? At the moment, I don't know about that. I mean, my big business, big for me anyway, with 20 people, is projected to make, well, normally, if everything was fine, would probably make a fraction of what I would actually make doing stuff myself with a couple of people, doing online, trading the markets. I'm into crypto, trading crypto. Be very careful any of this. This is not telling you to do it. It's not financial advice. You'll lose all your money if you listen to me about it. But I've been learning about this for a considerable amount of time, and that would earn me more money, and it has done in a few days, than my salary per month, or my salary. I don't even get a salary. That's the problem. I get a profit share, or I'm do my own self-assessment tax return, so I just get a payment and then I sort my tax out. So I won't get the 80% because I'm not on the payroll of the company. So I don't qualify for the 80%. So I have to find the money from somewhere or take out the company that doesn't have any. So it puts you in quite a difficult situation where is it worth it? Is it worth putting all the effort in for 12 months down the line for you to go out of business, or just not be worth it? Or do you shut the doors and say, right, I'm going to focus my attention on something else? And I think that's what everybody has to think about. Do you want to focus your attention on something else? Is it better to do something else? But yeah, be open-minded at the present moment. Keep your eyes open for opportunity and be ready to jump on it, because there will be lots of them over the next 12 months, and this is just the beginning. So you might have your job now, but you might not in 12 months. So you might not have your business in 12 months. So seriously consider all the options rather than just blindly following. Keep the business open, borrow the money, or keep my job, and blah 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 blah. Blinkers on, listen to what's going on. Anyway, I've probably said enough, a bit longer than usual. So anyway, have a good day, everybody. See you tomorrow.